Hello? Can you hear me well? Is that good? Okay. Let me know when we're ready to go.
You need to put your mask down just for the speaker.
I'm gonna keep it up. Right here. Good afternoon. My name is Robin Kimbrough Hayes, and I'm a member of NOAA. And I'm here today to do our opening prayer and opening remarks and welcome. Let us pray. Oh God, we are truly grateful for this opportunity to gather, to do the things you've called us to do, to fight for justice, to fight for truth, and to fight for righteousness. We ask, oh God, that you will just move mightily among all of us today so that we can bring about change, renew hope, and be the grace that you have given us each and every day so that we can share it throughout our community. This is our prayer in your name. Amen. We are so grateful to be here today of NOAA because we are here today to fight for justice around issues of policing that affect all of our community. We will go through our program and we have Chave Jackson to come to bring us the change and the narrative.
Hello, I'm Chave Jackson, and today I speak to change the narrative. The abolishment of slavery was passed by Congress January 31st of 1865. Over a course of 400 years, slavery has evolved from plantations into imprisonment. Since 1970, the incarceration rate has expanded times 4, and Tennessee holds a 681% increase, and 42% of the population are brown and black people. We are no strangers to police brutality, so when one of us is killed, we must take a deeper look. In the instance of Nika Holbert, the concern of whether this was a routine traffic stop or was she a woman going to Dollar General to use the restroom? What is the policy and procedure for stopping a woman standing outside of her car? In the instance of Melissa Wooden, a cry for help resulted in a broken family and a life that can never be restored. What's the price on proper training for police officers on mental health crisis calls? A life? MNPD must stop killing our community members. We demand a change in policy and procedures. And with this change, we share with the community so the rights of the people are at the forefront. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Greta Mclean, and I'm with Silent No Longer Tennessee. I'm on the NOAA's Criminal Justice Task Force, and I was also a police officer here in Nashville for 12 years. Today I'm going to talk about my experience as a police officer and about some of the tactics that we used, at least in my day. It was my experience and the experience of the 4 current and 3 former officers I spoke with over the last 2 days that when making a felony stop, which is a traffic stop of known or suspected felony suspects, there are certain protocols and tactics that should be used. We were taught these in the academy, and we practice them day after day. Those tactics include remaining in or at our patrol cars and giving verbal commands to occupants of the vehicle. If the occupants exited the vehicle, we were supposed to tell them to please remain in the vehicle, or if for some reason we allowed them to stay out and did not wait for backup, we gave them commands to walk backwards towards us, and then when they got close, we ordered them to the ground, handcuffed them, and explained that we were handcuffing them for our safety, but also for their safety, until we could determine if anyone else was in the vehicle. I, and to the best of my recollection, all the officers that I worked with routinely used these practices when performing felony stops. We used them because it protected us and community members. However, during my time at the department, unfortunately, these were not tactics that were being reinforced during in-service or roll call trainings. Approximately 2 weeks out of the academy, my training officer and I received a call of a man who was threatening to commit suicide. We were told that mobile crisis would not be able to respond because they had no one available. This was unfortunately the rule and not the exception. You can imagine my surprise when my sergeant told me that I needed to continue to speak with him and try to get him to come out and surrender without the use of proper force. Again, I was only 2 weeks out of the academy. Literally, it was probably the grace of God or perhaps sheer luck that I managed to get him to come out without having to use force. And thankfully, he was able to get the help that he needed without sustaining any injuries. I make these points to illustrate the need for the Metro Nashville Police Department to continuously focus on the use of proper tactics and de-escalation methods that can protect both the police officers and the general public, and to also encourage Mayor Cooper to adopt alternative proven solutions to responding to people in mental health crisis. Last year, I made some recommendations to the Police Policy Commission and also followed up with Deputy Chief Loki. Those recommendations included developing a work group that included law enforcement, city officials, faith communities, and community advocacy groups that could review training, programs, policies, and procedures and make recommendations on how to improve in areas that were deficient. I believe both March 12th instances are unfortunately very good examples of why this is needed, because proper training and use of officer survival tactics keep us safe as well as officers. Many of these recommendations, as I said, were presented to Chief Loki, but unfortunately I have not received any response as to whether they will be implemented in whole or in part. It is my sincere hope that the department and Mayor Cooper take these and the other recommendations that you'll hear today to heart. In my 12 years in law enforcement, I attended 6 line-of-duty officer funerals, one every 2 years. That's 6 too many. And I don't want to see any more officers killed. And I don't want to see any more of our community members killed. So again, I hope and pray that Mayor Cooper and the department is willing to embrace recommendations aimed at improving trust within the community, aimed at saving lives of both officers and our fellow Nashvillians, because in all honesty, that is what public safety and leadership is all about. Thank you.
That's right. Mask. Good afternoon. I'm Rev Jane Borum. Oh, can you hear me? Is this better? Hi, I'm Rev Jane Borum. I'm the co-chair of the Criminal Justice Task Force at NOAA. And I'm here to announce a program that we in NOAA truly believe would have prevented Melissa Wooden from being killed, or from an attempted killing on her life. It may even have been useful in other situations of recent times in Nashville. The proposal that I'm going to tell you about is called HEALS. It stands for Health, Engagement, and Liaison Services. This proposal has already been brought before Chief Drake. We have met with him 2 times. We met with him January 5. We met with him March 4. He is aware of this proposal. The person at Mental Health Co-op, Amanda Brock, who's the clinical director there, is also aware of this proposal. This proposal is very much like the CAHOOTS program in Eugene, Oregon, which you may have read about or heard about. You can Google that on your own and find out how successful that is. It has saved thousands of lives, and it has saved millions of dollars for Eugene, Oregon. This program could easily be implemented here. Chief Drake wants to do something called a dual response team. We don't have as much of a problem with him trying something if he would just do that, but he hasn't done that yet. Talk, talk, talk. We're tired of talking. We're tired of waiting. Nashville cannot continue to kill innocent women. This has got to stop. It's just too old, and it's wrong. Each life is sacred. Each life that comes before us in the course of our daily activities has a special purpose to it. God has placed us here for a reason. These women are here for a reason. They need to be treated with respect. And protocol, as Greta said, needs to be followed. That is why protocol is there. People's lives depend on that. I will read you just a brief paragraph about HEALS, but if you would like more information, you can get copies of the HEALS proposal from Jerome Moore, our organizer, or you can email us at NOAA. I am Jane2302@att.net. I would be glad to send you a copy. Jerome is at NOAA, and you can get his email from him too, or he has a few copies here. HEALS is a community-based behavioral health crisis intervention program that would be staffed by Nashville-based nonprofit Community Mental Health Center, already licensed for a wide array of services, including outpatient treatment and crisis services. HEALS will support the Metro Police Department in partnership by responding to behavioral health and social services related calls, with specialization in mental health crisis counseling. HEALS personnel may also contact and transport individuals in non-emergency care related situations. The proposal goes on. It has a budget. It's very detailed. I don't see why our mayor, why our chief of police, why city council, why Amanda Brock at the Mental Health Co-op cannot sit down, and why we cannot work out a program like this to prevent any more attempted shootings and any more interventions that go awry. People's lives are just too sacred. We have to have a better way of handling people in a mental health crisis. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm Jerome Moore, organizer with NOAA and lead organizer with the Criminal Justice Task Force of NOAA. Media, we do have handouts of the agenda and also of the HEALS proposal. So if you want to talk to me or any of our leaders after this, please reach out to us and we can give you that information so it can be clear and transparent with everybody that's here today. And just closing, NOAA can't do this by ourselves, and we're not proposing that's what we're doing. We want to work with other community organizations and other community members, and that's why we're bringing this up today. It's not all about one organization or one body, one entity making Nashville safe. It's going to take all of us, everybody that's even standing here right now today, to make this happen. We have the right. We actually pay the salaries of the people that are giving these services, and when services are no longer working, we can change them. We can advocate to change them and hold them accountable, and nobody is beyond being held accountable, and that's what we want to do today. And so please, it's about everybody coming together. It's about everybody understanding we need to do what's best for the community, not what's best for a budget, right? Not what's best that's going to look good. Not about trying to implement MNPD in every fraction of our life. You know, they can't be our therapists, our counselors, our basketball coaches, and stop crime, right? That's ridiculous. You know, so you know, we need to put all the resources into those professionals who can do those resources 100%. And so we want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us today. And what the sign says: stop shooting and stop killing innocent women. Stop shooting and stop killing Nashville community members. Stop shooting and stop killing, period. There's better ways that we can get beyond this. I appreciate y'all's time and have a good one. Thank you. Stop shooting, stop killing. 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 Thank you. And again, we do have